Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Locke the Bounty Hunter. It's actually a series of women here, but the first one is demanding that men stop being creepy. She is fed up with men, specifically the men of LA. She's struggling to date, so let's take a listen.
But what I'm experiencing lately, especially today, is just so not the vibe. I'm walking out from checking out, and a grown man between 45 to 50 literally kind of runs into me, and we're like face to face, and goes, oh yeah. Sir, keep that internal dialogue to yourself. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, see, I don't think that this happened, nor does anybody particularly give a damn. Guys, I love how these women come on TikTok and then they go through their life experiences like those things actually happened, and then they sit here making public service announcements to all men. It is completely ridiculous. And then they wind up like this woman right here, which is a perfect segue. We're going to be covering a bunch of clips here today. But you know, this girl right here, guys, the theme of which is none of them can find a man, okay? They're all sitting here saying, oh, men need to act this way, men need to do that. The men are sitting here thinking to themselves, man, we're done, we don't want to talk to you anyway. But you still wind up with video clips like this, so check this one out.
I'm single until asked otherwise. It doesn't matter how many dates we've been on, it doesn't matter how many friends I've met, it doesn't even matter if I've met your parents. Until you ask me, will you be my girlfriend, I am single, okay? Without the actual agreement of exclusivity and us being partners, why would I assume otherwise? Girls are already going to commit more up front. I don't want any of the wishy-washy, oh, are we dating, are we talking? No, we're either dating or we're not.
I love this idea, by the way, that apparently men are not the ones who are investing up front. Like, we're not the ones who are expected to do everything. We're expected to plan the dates, we're expected to pay for the dates, we're expected to take you for the dates, and so on and so forth. This is the attitude that so many modern women have these days, guys. Oh, well, he's not doing that, he's not a real man. This is the bare minimum. It's completely ridiculous. Men are the ones who are investing in the relationships and dates and stuff up front. It has been expected of them a long time. Now, a lot of guys are refusing to do this because, quite frankly, they don't like you, but that sounds more like a you problem than a man problem here. Now, this is the problem with these women's strategy before we continue here, right? Is you see all of these clips like, yeah, I'm just going to date a whole bunch of dudes until you ask me for a relationship, then I'm going to keep seeing other men. Yeah, see, the problem with that is it makes men not want to be exclusive with you. Why the hell should a man have a conversation with you about having a relationship together, becoming exclusive, if you're seeing 5 other dudes? Men don't want to do that. They find you repulsive. Let's keep going.
That doesn't make sense.
Lady, I don't see how you can say that you love more than the man when you're the one that's willing to sleep around because he's not willing to put a label on a relationship that he already assumed was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let me get this straight. If the dude does not commit to the woman, then apparently she's just going to go out there and keep hooking up with other dudes. Then what's the point of committing to you in the first place, guys? Like, half of these women, like this woman back here, they make all of these videos, right? They talk about what men should be doing and how men should behave. And then men are just sitting here like, man, I don't want you anyway. You're a psycho.
In reality, all you're doing is saying that your loyalty depends on a document. And if you don't have that document, then you're under no obligation to consider this man's feelings when it comes to anything. And if you're at the point where you're telling men that they have to commit to you in order for you to take them seriously, those men aren't even going to bother because those men really don't take kindly to hostage threats. It's just not something men really do appreciate.
Yeah, see, women lose when they try and play this game of like, oh, I'm going to get him with an ultimatum. You know, the man has to commit to me or insert X penalty. But the problem is when you try and blackmail dudes into having relationships with you, or try and shame them into them, or do all of these little games and things, or punish them for not having a relationship, they are just going to get further and further away from you. Because they don't particularly give a damn. Let's be honest, guys, these women are out here giving up their bodies for free anyway to the men that they find attractive. So it was already difficult trying to convince men to have a relationship with you. And now you are more obviously making it a waste of time for men. Congratulations, real smart move here.
And I am free to see whoever I want until we establish that we are exclusive. A talking stage should not last for more than 2 to 3 weeks. I think far too many people allow for that talking stage to go on for so long because they're nervous to have that conversation. And I think this comes with age, because when I was younger, I would have never, right? But now I'm advocating for myself. I'm respecting my time. I'm respecting who I am as a person. Like, this is either going to work or it's not. And
I love how women, like, they develop, this is so funny to me, man. They develop this, let me just move her down for a moment here. They develop this, like, self-respect, but only after they've been through their 20s and hooked up with a metric ton of dudes, right? It's like, oh, now I respect my time. Yeah, you respect your time now because you're 30 and you have no time. You have to have kids now. You have to get married now, or you're not going to be able to have kids, and people are going to look real funny at you at the family meetups when you are still unmarried with no children, right? It's not because, guys, please understand, these women don't suddenly have an epiphany where they gain self-respect and they understand the error of their ways. No, if they could keep going out there and hooking up with the bad boys, they would do that. But the problem is now they realize that they're running out of time, so they have to implement these rules of like, oh, well, he has to commit to me in 2 to 3 weeks, which, by the way, is still completely laughable, man. These dudes are just going to smash and have fun with you for like 3 weeks, and then they're going to dip. And just by the way, if the man's attractive, that 2 to 3 weeks is going to get extended into multiple months, okay? I saw in a recent video, guys, women are putting these time limits on. And I saw one that was like saying how a talking stage shouldn't last more than 2 months. And like the dudes are just going to smash you for 2 months and then they're going to leave. You're like, that's like a man saying, hey, listen, she's only going to be able to have access to my bank account for 2 months at the start of the relationship, you know? But after then, she really has to, you know, she has to start making me breakfast in the mornings. It's like the women are just going to use you for your money, and then they're going to dip, and they're never going to make you breakfast. That's the way it's going to work. Hilarious.
And
nobody cares what you think.
Okay, woman, answer me this. What does it benefit a man to show his true loyalty to you? You've already shown that your loyalty is conditional, that he must do it first, which, okay, fair enough. That's your decision. However, you're also saying that if he doesn't do it soon enough, then you're free to go ahead and be disloyal to him until he changes his mind. But this leads to a little bit of a conundrum because men don't like it when women aren't loyal. He could assume because you met his parents and his friends and been spending a lot of time together that it was a given. He didn't really need to ask because he thought the two of you were on the same page. I mean,
yeah, see, this is where dudes go wrong, guys. They think, oh, well, you know, she's met my family. She's a good one. You know, we've been talking to one another. We've been intimate this past couple of weeks or something like this. But then you come to realize that she's been talking to like 4 different dudes throughout this entire period anyway. You see? And this is what dudes get twisted, man. And this is why the dudes don't want relationships with these women, is because they can't even be loyal. Like they really cannot. And you can sit here and say, well, you know, I don't have a relationship with the guy, so why should I be? Yeah, but these women are out here pretending, you know, they're pretending to be loyal, right? Because they're auditioning for the girlfriend part in a lot of these cases, right? They're trying to lock down some dude that they really want. And so they're trying to put on the facade like they're loyal, and they're not even loyal at the beginning. You can be talking to them, right? You think that you finally found a keeper, and she's out here talking to like 5 different dudes at any given time. It's completely ridiculous. And then they wonder why dudes don't want to have committed long-term relationships with them. Not only that, but they bring nothing long-term to the relationship at all, man. They don't. They can't pair bond with you at all. They are not feminine whatsoever. It's always their way or the highway. She'll never cook you a meal, you know, like, and of course men don't want the relationships. They don't want the marriage. They don't want the kids with you because you're not even sane.
I mean, you clearly care more about the label than you do about the actual guy. There are numerous reasons why this man didn't put a label on things, and situationship talking stage is only one of them. But you decided to take everything backwards and say that this man must prove his loyalty to you before you prove it to him, even though loyalty is clearly a virtue that's sacred to men and conditional to you, which really doesn't help you at all because men aren't going to take you seriously if your loyalty is going to be dangling over their heads like a freaking carrot. It's not gonna work that way, sister. Men have too much self-respect to deal with that kind of disrespect.
If you're not willing to do the things that I need, then it's not gonna work. Because you're telling me up front that, hey, I'm not taking you seriously. Excusez-moi? No. 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 No, no, no. You want to hear it in Spanish? No. I love that line. That's my daily thought. Maybe we should make this into a series. I have a lot of opinions. Have a good day. Bye.
Just by the way, bit of a spoiler here, guys. A lot of women actually make this crap into series, right? They make it into a series over on their TikTok accounts. And it provides endless content for the channel, guys. Literally, thousands of women are doing this, where they're out here providing their unique dating experiences and thoughts on men every single day. And so we don't ever run out of videos. Exhibit B over here, guys. More dating advice for women. I haven't seen these ones ahead of time, so we will brave the storms together. You will never know the person you're marrying, apparently. Let's take a listen.
Follow me, let me tell you something. The best thing that you can do for yourself in this world is be educated and build a foundation for yourself.
I move positions because I'm getting serious. Under no circumstance should you be entirely financially dependent on another person. There's a difference between support and being entirely codependent. We would never normalize being emotionally codependent, so why do we normalize being financially dependent? And let me tell you something, you will never know the man you're marrying. You can quiz him as much as you want before marriage. You could live with him for 5 years, and even then, you will never know the person you are marrying. Humans are fundamentally unpredictable.
I mean, I think the woman is just completely clueless here. First of all, women are actively encouraged to be strong and independent and go out there and get careers and be independent of men. This has been something that's been happening for quite a few years now. And in fact, I encourage these women, guys. You want to be strong and independent? Fine. Go out there, make your own money, work your jobs, and so on and so forth. But do you know what ends up happening, guys? What ends up happening is these same women who are like, yeah, I want to be strong and independent. Well, they hit 35 years of age. They hit 30 years of age. They approach 30, and they're like, wait a minute. I don't want to work for the rest of my life. I don't want to work until retirement age. I'm not making enough money. I'm still working as a coffee barista. My degree is completely useless, and I have no track for my life that is going to actually make me successful. I need to have kids before I run out of time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and rely on a man. And this is what happens most of the damn time, guys. And the women who don't make it, they end up crazy cat ladies, and they end up very, very sad, and they make a lot of TikToks about it, which again is very funny to me. So I agree, you know, go out there, be strong and independent. Don't rely on a man. But we'll see what happens when you rock around to 35 years of age. We will check back in with you, madam. Let's continue.
Years, and even then, you will never know the person you are marrying. Humans are fundamentally unpredictable. It's in our nature. It is intrinsic to us. Get that in your heads.
You dumb bastard.
Woman, you strike me as the type of person who assumes you'll win every coin toss because there's only one side to a coin, when in reality, yeah, a man could know a woman for 15 years and then marry her, and then she could do a complete about face, make his life completely miserable, force him into pregnancy, and then divorce him for child support and alimony after making his life a living hell. Yeah, it happens more often than not, especially when you consider that 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and
it actually fluctuates, as far as I understand, between 70 and 90%. I think it goes as high as 90% if the woman is college educated. Otherwise, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Also, by the way, I think that women are far more likely to be these type of people that just end up being completely different than what you expect. I don't think dudes are very good at pretending and faking to be people. You know, they're pretty good at it, I guess, in dating, right at the start when they're just trying to hook up with you. But even then, it's so obvious just to spot dudes who are only with you for a bit of fun. Women make it out to be really damn difficult. It is not that hard. I always have had the thought, guys, that modern women are far better at manipulating men than vice versa, especially when things like marriage and such are on the table, because women are playing the long game and a lot of them are trying to take resources from men. I don't think men either, number one, care enough to do it, Or number two, even understand where to even go about manipulating a modern woman. Or number three, I think dudes just honestly just straight up too lazy to do it, because again, refer to point number one, we don't actually care. It takes effort to pretend to be someone we're not, especially the older guys, man. You know, some dude gets to like 30 years old, he doesn't want to be playing stupid games with modern women. He just wants to relax and probably go fishing or do some other hobby, play video games that he's interested in. He doesn't want to pull this nonsense with you. Oh, this man did a complete 180. You know, there are probably situations where this happens, but the majority of guys, at least from my understanding, are not like this.
Into pregnancy and then divorce him for child support and alimony after making his life a living hell. Yeah, it happens more often than not, especially when you consider that 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and most of the time it's for petty reasons. This idea that men are evil agents of chaos really makes no sense when you consider that the members of the illustrious bottom 95% club are really just creatures of habit. And this is why modern women will never be able to respect the members of the bottom 95% club, because that predictability and stability that men create for themselves is boring.
Yep, right. The dude who goes out there and who actually works hard and who makes a lot of money and isn't really a bad boy. Perhaps he's not the tallest, okay? Perhaps he's not the most attractive. He's not exciting, right? He doesn't represent enough thrill. He's not worth chasing. Now, things start to change a little bit when women enter into their 30s and they're looking for a man who's going to provide for them. But again, this is why these dudes get cheated on and left in the first place, is because women are with these men, not because they find them attractive, right? Not because they're actually interested in them on a physical level or on a romantic level, but because they need the man for his wallet and his resources.
You don't want reliability. You actually want the chaos. You want the unpredictability because that's thrilling. And this is why you put your emotions and feelings above all else, because anything else would just be boring.
You need to prioritize your education, not only so that you can build a financial foundation for yourself, but also because you need to be educated. You need to have knowledge. You need to have wisdom. You need to be intelligent. You need to be able to look after yourself, to be able to look after your children. And this isn't even entertaining a scenario where you might have to consider divorce or your husband is a bad partner. God forbid your husband dies or something happens to him and you need to look after yourself and your children. I'm so sorry you guys are gonna hate to hear this come from my mouth, but cooking and cleaning is not fulfillment and it is not a life. Cooking and cleaning are not a volatile constituent of a fulfilling life and a conscious life. They are.
Okay, let me just say this. I think when this woman is talking about husbands, perhaps she's getting a little bit ahead of herself here. So go out here, get an education, make your own money so that you don't have to rely on a man. Understand that cooking and cleaning is not fulfilling at all. We're also referring to children as our children, like as in the woman's children specifically, my children. Yeah, this is a complete recipe for disaster. So career woman who doesn't want to rely on a man, goes out here, cannot accurately judge men's character whatsoever. Like this is a recipe for disaster, man. You go out here, you marry modern women who think like this, and it's just, you know, it's going to end badly for you. It absolutely is. And again, this is the kind of crap that makes dudes not want to get married, right? I'm not saying that women belong cooking or cleaning or stuff like this, but when you have TikTok videos who are like, you know what, you won't get fulfillment from cleaning the house. It's like, why are we even making these videos, man? You know, you don't want to be a mother, you don't want to look after a house, that's fine. But again, just be very clear, don't expect a dude to provide for you. Because what ends up happening is women end up wanting the traditional behavior from men. Make no mistake, this woman will still want money from you. She will still want the man to provide, but she doesn't want to do the cooking or cleaning because it's not fulfilling. You know? And again, when these women go out here and earn this sort of money, they want to go out there, become educated, work their jobs. They don't want to date a dude who earns less money than them anyway. If she goes out here and makes 100K a year, she wants a dude who makes 150, and so on and so forth. But don't worry, guys, she doesn't want to cook or clean because it's not fulfilling.
Cooking and cleaning are not a volatile constituent of a fulfilling life and a conscious life. They are chores that we indulge in to live and for the sake of our mental health. Cooking and cleaning isn't going to teach you how to pay bills. It's not going to teach you how to help your children with their homework. It's not going to teach you
again, your children.
Logical inductions or problem-solving skills. It's not going to make you more eloquent or well-read or well-spoken. Cooking and cleaning does not help you develop things like honesty, integrity, or responsibility. It is not intellectually stimulating. It doesn't help you develop critical thinking skills. It doesn't help you understand fundamental concepts such as ethics, education.
Yeah, guys, this woman's IQ is through the damn roof. I think we've mentioned intellect about 35 times. Nobody is saying that cooking and cleaning makes you more intelligent. Okay, people understand. They do cooking and cleaning because it's a chore and they want to keep the house clean and they want to be able to have food. Guys, this is what I would like to call a pseudo-intellectual who, again, if you have a relationship with, you are most definitely going to regret it. These girls are not wife material. They are not girlfriend material. They will just give you an absolute headache. And I guarantee you again, right? So she doesn't want to be in a position where she's provided, you know, she's relying on a man. But I guarantee you, you'll still be required to provide for her anyway.
Is the structural foundation of your life and your character. Stop putting it on the back burner.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I'm gonna get to the educational fallacy in just a second, but first we gotta clear something, because I have no idea what in the hell you're talking about, woman, or who you're directing this message to. Like, are you talking to women your age? Are you talking to little girls? Are you talking to teenagers? Like, who are you directing this to? Because you're implying that if a woman finds contentment as a housewife who cooks and cleans, then her life is unfulfilling, and she's stupid, and she's oafish, and she's illiterate, and can't do math. Like, where are you getting this information from?
Yeah, right. If you want to go out there and you want to be a housewife, then you are just not very intellectual and you won't be eloquent at all like me. That's really what she's saying here. She's saying, go out there, be strong and independent, be a career woman, don't be a housewife, which again, guys, is fine. I don't particularly give a damn. I would rather these women go out here and actually be career women and stuff like this, because the men who want to get married and they want to find a traditional woman, they can just completely ignore you to begin with. They already know what you are and it'll be fine. Go out there, make all of your money, okay? And then come back when you're 35 and then we'll have the discussion of fulfillment again. Right, because what ends up happening is these women who become career women, they cannot hold a marriage together whatsoever. In fact, a lot of guys don't want to marry them. The women have such entitled expectations of what they demand from a man. It is completely ridiculous. Like, guys, have you ever seen a 35-year-old woman who makes some serious money? She is impossible to deal with, and she thinks that she is deserving of the absolute world, because in her mind, she doesn't want to settle because she thinks men give a damn about her income. If a woman is going out here and making some serious money, then what ends up happening is she wants a guy who makes more money than her and who is more quote-unquote educated and has a better degree. The problem is men don't value these things, right? We don't care if the woman works at McDonald's. We don't care if she's a lawyer. These are not the qualities that men are looking at. And women get this so damn mixed up when they are out here looking for husbands and long-term relationships, especially if they are quote-unquote successful.
I am genuinely curious. Some women actually do want to be housewives. They want to raise their children, take care of their homes, and take care of their men. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So why are you condemning them for that? If that's how they want to live their lives, shouldn't they be able to live their lives that way? Isn't that what being a strong and independent boss baby ass queen's all about? Having the power to make your own decisions? Oh, wait, no, that's not it. It's just your never-ending desire to want to be right above all costs.
And especially the radical traditionalists who like to bash women who decide to pursue a career or education, constantly yapping about, oh my god, I want to be a good mom. You think you're going to be a good mom without an education? Your child is going to learn.
I don't see traditional women bashing women who want to go out there and be career women. They don't give a damn. They're not on here watching your TikToks where you're giving like advice to young women. They're not following you. They don't get your videos, right? Again, nobody bash it. You know, if you want to go out there and be a career woman, this is something that is absolutely encouraged these days. This is the new norm, right? This is what women are taught in schools. This is what they're taught as they go into university. Pursue higher education, guys. Go out there, become an educated woman. Don't rely on no man. They're useless. You don't need them anyway. Like, this is what modern women are absolutely taught. There are not traditional women who are out here bashing women for being career women and not wanting to be with dudes. In fact, what I've seen is it's actually the complete opposite. I have seen many times there'll be like a TikTok video or a reel or a short or whatever, and it'll be some clip of a woman cooking for her man or doing something nice for him, right? And then you'll have all of these women in the comments just bashing her, saying that she's oppressed and that she's a slave and things like this because she's doing something kind for a man. I would actually argue it's the complete opposite.
Never-ending desire to want to be right above all costs.
And especially the radical traditionalists who like to bash women who decide to pursue a career or education, constantly yapping about, oh my god, I want to be a good mom. You think you're going to be a good mom without an education? Your child is going to learn from you. You are the first example as a parent that you set for your child. And you want to be uneducated? Get away from me, don't piss me off. And not only is it the foundation of your character, it's also the foundation of our societies and our communities.
I wonder what this woman is being educated in, by the way. She has said educated so many times throughout this video. She's spoken about intellect so many times throughout this video. What is the bet that she's not studying to become a doctor or a lawyer or something that actually requires a legitimate certification? She's out here studying like some sort of social class, right? Like, I guarantee you it's probably something completely useless. But yeah, tell women how they need to get more educated. Guys, the education system these days is a complete and utter joke, okay? They are teaching things they absolutely should not be teaching in schools. A lot of the quote-unquote higher education is a complete waste of your resources. You're just going to end up in debt with something that gives you realistically no career opportunities. It's completely stupid. But yeah, go out there, guys. Get educated. I think being educated has really lost a lot of meaning these days. There are certainly places where education is very valued, very specific types of education, you know, like you will have to, for example, being a doctor, right? Being educated as a doctor, obviously a very good thing, very required, but education as a whole has become very diluted these days, and I personally don't respect a lot of it.
You want well-rounded, productive communities and societies? Educate them. Education is a significant precursor to the success of a group of people.
And the fact that some of you believe these red pill men and their very, very weak and illogical arguments that they put forth when they say that education is not necessary for women or necessary for a mother, you are literal proof that we need to educate people. Otherwise,
yeah, so let me just say this, dudes, again, we don't care about your education. This is why dudes say this, man. They're not interested. When they're looking for someone who's the mother of their kids, do you think they really give a damn if she has a university degree? No, they don't. In fact, guys, university is so bad these days, it's probably more of a green flag if your woman doesn't have a university degree. No dude is out here and he's like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to find the mother of my kids, but you know what? She has to be real educated. Like, no, they just want you to be a good, normal, healthy person. Really not that. Modern women, guys, they make crap look so difficult, right? We're not out here trying to shove you into the education system. We just want you to be pleasant to be around. Just don't eat a lot of McDonald's and be pleasant to be around. But women are acting like dudes have these ginormous lists that are so difficult for them to complete. You know, or we're trying to oppress them. We just don't want you to be a psycho. That's all.
they believe things like that.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Lady, a traditional housewife can actually be a positive influence on her family, especially if she's taking care of her kids, she's actually reading to them, and is able to provide a stable home filled with safety and love. That's actually a really good thing.
Yeah, that is far more valuable than having some university degree. Like, what are you going to do? Teach your 4-year-old about engineering? Like, come on now. Or you have to be highly educated, right? Like, just look after the kid. You know, it's like we're not out here trying to teach it algebra, okay? Relax.
You don't need a fancy college degree and $250,000 worth of debt in order to do that. Now, you're clearly prioritizing an academic education over a practical one, and I honestly don't see how that can really help in this regard, especially when we have far too many people with college degrees. Just because you have that piece of paper doesn't make you intelligent.
I totally agree with that, man. I think Locke is absolutely spot on here. Just because you have a piece of paper does not mean that you're some highly intelligent individual who is now a source of all wisdom, and now you're apparently qualified to raise children, right? It's like, why on earth is this even a thing? But speaking of why on earth is this even a thing, let's continue on to this woman here today, the one who is making demands about men needing to stop being creepy. Okay, PSA to all of the men of Los Angeles. Let's take a listen.
Okay, this is kind of an out of character video for me. It is a PSA to the men of LA. Maybe it's because I am just grumpy from driving today in the city and it's just been super chaotic and everything is just extra difficult because of traffic and parking, etc. To the point where I'm contemplating just finding a neighborhood that I like, which I know is Venice, but finding a place where I can walk and maybe get a bicycle just to limit my driving, because it's, after 6 months of not dealing with it, it's kind of driving me crazy. No pun intended. I digress. Back to my PSA. So, I think men are amazing. I think men are capable of being kind and caring and having good manners and whatever. Love men.
Love men, whatever. Okay, so let's skip ahead to the part where she rambles some more here. My goodness, man. She digresses back to her PSA.
But what I'm experiencing lately, especially today, is just so not the vibe. I'm walking.
You hear that, guys? It is so not the vibe. I need to start saying crap like this, man. I need to make a list of phrases that are complete nonsense that modern women say, and I just need to start putting it in the episodes, you know? That way, the episodes make even less sense.
Out from checking out, and a grown man between 45 to 50 literally kind of runs into me, and we're like face to face, and goes, oh yeah. Sir, keep that internal dialogue to yourself. Like, what the fuck? Come on, do better. And on my way to there, I was at a red light, and this guy was kind of staring into my car with his window down and just looking, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull forward. He pulls forward. I pull forward. He pulls forward. Like, just stop. Do better.
I wish I could help you here, but I just don't want to.
Translation, I was walking out of the grocery store after purchasing a pre-prepared meal for my dinner alone tonight, as I do every evening, when a man who appeared to be between the ages of 45 and 50 made a comment on my physical appearance. However, because I deemed this man to be physically unattractive, I took offense. If he was better looking and better built and said the exact same thing, I probably would have been flattered and would have gotten a phone number and was bragging about how I still got it. It was
Exactly, man. I think Locke makes a really good point here, man. Right? If the dude was attractive, then she would have no issues with it. Also, I have half a mind to believe that this story isn't even true anyway, guys. Women make up stories like this all of the damn time to try and make themselves appear more valuable than they actually are, even if it didn't actually happen in reality. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.